Greetings. Welcome to Wholeo-Awakening. My name is Nathan Faust. Today we're going to talk about a very important subject, balance. Balance is very important in the lives of humanity. As we age, our balance deteriorates. So it's very important for us to cultivate the skill of balance when we're younger. Or if you're an older person watching this video, no fear, because you can restore your balance in a matter of weeks with Qigong practice and Tai Chi practice. All that's required is a willing heart. Are you willing to learn these movements, and are you willing to practice these movements between 5 to 10 minutes every day? Then your balance will improve. I guarantee it. If you want more evidence of this, then simply go to Google and type in, does Tai Chi help balance, or does Qigong help balance? And you will be amazed at the articles. It's one of the absolute best, if not the best, forms of exercise concerning balance. So, with that being the case, then I urge you to join me on the Tai Chi floor. Get up from your chair and join me, because I'm going to share with you 3 exercises that will help you recover your balance or gain better balance. Alright, so right now I want you to stand with your feet together, your heels together. You're forming a V stance. That means that your heels, as being shown with my hands, like the heels of my palms here, are touching or slightly apart. Each toe of each foot is pointing about 45 degrees. That's the V stance. Knees slightly bent. Hands are hung down by the sides of your body. The palms are facing the pockets of your pants, if you have pockets. You're going to be breathing in abdominally, activating the Buddhist breath. You're going to stay here and hang out here for about anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. Before you begin your practice. Breathing in and out through your nose, and just relax. As you are in this posture, it's very important for you to pay close attention to your body. Tai Chi has a language, and that language is feeling. It's important for you to feel your body, and standing for a few minutes, say 3 minutes, in this posture, if you can, is very important so that you can feel your body. If you cannot stand for 3 to 5 minutes, stand for 30 seconds to a minute. Whatever gives your body the necessary time to awaken, and so that your mind can be fully aware and present in the present moment. Now, with that being the case, we begin with our first exercise. We're going to shift our weight entirely on our right leg. As you can see here, my left foot is going to be coming off the ground, meaning my left heel is off the ground. And I'm going to take one little step to the side to my left, like so. And I'm going to transition that way, see? So now my weight is 50-50, balanced on both sides, my right and also to my left. Now, What's very important about this exercise that we're going to be doing is there's going to be a shifting of the weight back and forth. Kind of do this with me if you can. Just shift your weight back and forth between your right leg and then my left leg. Right, left. Just shift your weight side to side. It should feel good to do this. And shifting the weight side to side, even though it doesn't seem like much, it really does wonders for your balance because it gets your body used to having one side bearing all the weight. Right now, I'm just kind of easing into it as well. I'm not automatically, whoop, there's all my weight on my right foot. I'm easing into it. It's like I'm putting about a percentage of my weight more so on one leg than the other. It's really important to build this up and not just go into things. This has two main benefits. Number one, the first benefit is it makes sure that you don't bite off more than you can chew. You can steadily progress to just lifting up your foot, all the weights on one foot. This is also a marvelous exercise for your knees as well. If you don't have very good knees, which many of us don't because of work and tear, then don't go as low in any of your stances and just do it a little bit, side to side. Notice I'm building up. I'm building up. And the more I do it, the more optimistic I become, the more realization that, hey, I can transition most of my weight on one leg. That helps me boost my leg power. So my legs are going to get stronger. My knees are going to get better. My balance is going to improve. The list of pros of this exercise is just tremendous. So you're going to shift your weight side to side like so. And you're going to bring your hands up into a prayer hands position. For those of you who do not know what it looks like, it's this. Prayer hand position like so. It's about the center line of my body, which is where my zipper is on my jacket. That's why I wear the jacket, so you can see the middle line of my body better. Shifting the weight side to side. Now, the question is, where am I bearing all my weight? Like, for example, I know I'm putting all my weight down on one side of the foot, but where? Am I just putting it all on my foot, like my whole foot is getting it? Or is there a specific point of my foot that requires the most weight? Well, I'm glad we asked that question. What I want you to do is I'm just going to say this. I'm going to use my hand. Maybe I can use my foot as an example. The middle part of your foot, basically here. Big toe here, and all the inside of your foot. Not the outside of your foot. If you put all your weight on the outside of your foot, then you're going to have some kind of injury, probably, and your balance isn't going to be as stable. So I want you to put most of your weight on the inside of your foot. on the inside of the foot. And not so much on the outside of the foot. See, that automatically will help improve balance as well. Remember, if you have any questions or comments about any of these techniques or about anything of these videos, please leave a comment. We will certainly get back to you. So you see, I'm just shifting side to side. My hands should be prayer hands as I do this. Now, let's add something else to this, now that we've got that foot issue out of the way. I'm going to turn the waist. Let's make this a little more advanced. I'm going to turn at the waist. So, as I sit down on my left foot, I'm turned at the waist. See? In any kind of turning, in Qigong or Tai Chi, any kind of turning is very beneficial for your organ systems. So, this exercise here is called tree roots, but it's also very good for your kidneys and your adrenals. Why is that? Because of two things. First, we're turning, obviously, kind of. That's good for it, right? The second thing is the bubbling wells point. Remember, I said this in a recent video. The bubbling wells point is a specific acupressure point in your foot that is related to the kidneys. And when we do specific exercises like we do in the deer form of the 5 frolics, we stimulate that point. And by stimulating that point, we also stimulate the kidneys in a very encouraging, positive way. For those of you who do not know what the bubbling wells point is, simply refer to Google. Breathing in as we, and exhale. So I shift and turn, right? I turn. Now, how far do I turn? I turn just about 45 degrees, and then I sit down. Notice I come up from my squatted position. I come up, and then I turn, and then I sit down. Come up, turn, sit. Come up, turn, sit. Come up, turn, and sit. And we're sitting primarily more on my left foot. So this foot here is easy to pick up. Now, that's kind of simple, isn't it? Of just coming up, turn, and then sit, right? Pretty simple stuff. Let's keep it that way. We will. But what I want to focus on is your breath. How am I breathing in this? Because breathing is very important to health. I'm going to do breathe in as I come center. So watch me first, okay? And then we'll practice together, all right? So I'm here at prayer hands. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to face the left. Most of my weight's on the right foot, right? My left foot, that means I can pick up my left foot with relatively easy. Then come center. And this is when I inhale. There's a soft pause in this movement. And that soft pause is what I call the sweet spot. And there's usually a sweet spot in every Qigong movement. You just have to look for it. in this sweet spot. The sweet spot is when the yin and the yang are together in perfect harmonious. And that's when the movement, you inhale and then you exhale. And for this particular Qigong movement, it's when my feet are 50-50 and I'm standing here with prayer hands. So I inhale. And I exhale. And you can sigh if you want to as well, like that, just to relieve yourself of tension. Breathing in, and then exhale. Good. Breathing in, exhale. Good. Okay. Let's take it from the top. I think we've done pretty well of outlining it. Don't you think so? So let's take it from the very beginning. And I want you to follow along with me, okay? Because it's very important for us to do this together and practice together as if we are in a classroom setting. So right now my feet are in a V stance, right? That's how we began. Meaning my toes of both feet are kind of pointing it towards the corners of your room, about 45 degrees or so. Okay, so I'm going to shift my weight. You can see now, all on my right foot, right? My left foot is up. My left heel is up. I'm going to step out and transition the weight. That's a little technique in Tai Chi. To adjust the right foot so that my right foot is also pointing towards you. I'm going to require it to move, right? So I'm going to move it with my waist. So I'm going to pick up the toes and I'm going to pivot with my heel and my leg and my waist, working in perfect unison. This is wonderful. This is Tai Chi. Your body working in unison. So, as this out to the side here, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to turn. See, all I'm doing is turning my torso, right? But my leg follows. Because this is all one. Your whole body's one. Pick it up, pick your toes up, and right now it's just on the heel, so I'm pivoting, right? I'm pivoting on my heel so that my toes are pointing center. And there we go. They're pointing towards you. My knees are slightly bent. My hands come up into prayer hands. Let's begin our weight shift. I always shift towards the right first. Look left. Turn, breathing in, using our Buddhist breath. Breathing in our secret sweet spot. Exhale and turn. And hold. You know, camp out here for a few breaths. Hold. And then come back center. Breathing in, here's that sweet spot. Breathing in. Relax, let it all go as you turn towards the left. I look left, but my weight's right. Come center, breathing in. Exhale. Inhale, breathe in. Come center. Exhale. Good. Inhale, breathe in. And then exhale. Good. I think you get the idea of it. Now, I hope you followed along with me when we were going through that. I urge you to do that 9 times on each side. 9 times on each side. Take your time. Take your time. Don't worry about the clock if you don't have to. If you do, then this whole routine should only take about 10 minutes, right? So just do it about 9 times or so. Anything divisible by 3 is best. 9, 12 would be even better. The more you do is the better, right? But 9 is a good starting number on both sides. That's called tree roots. That's the first exercise to improve your balance. And it's my opinion that when we shift our weight side to side, that is how we build balance. Now, there's also other variations that we can do. Like, for example, if we're in a Tai Chi bow and arrow stance, for those of you who know, or a lunge. It's just a lunge for those of you who do not know, or are not initiated into the Tai Chi family. It's basically, most of your weight's going to be on the front leg, right? It's about 70% of your weight in the front leg, 30% of the weight on the back leg. In this case, my rear leg is, my back leg is right, and my front foot is left. And my toes are pointing off here in this corner. You can play with your stances, of course. This is a relatively Tai Chi narrow stance. You can also widen it if you want. But for this exercise, it's best just to do the regular Tai Chi stance of bow and arrow. Now, bring your hands together, palms facing. We're going to have videos in the future going through all of the Tai Chi stances, so please stay tuned. Our hands are facing our heart, placed by our heart, and the center line of the body. We're facing in this direction. I'll face towards you guys too, so you can see. This is movement 1, part 2. So this is another variation of it. You can call, then this is called unnecessary tree roots, but I like to call it boat on the water. Because that's really what it is. You're kind of rocking back and forth between your feet. Most of my weight, 70% of my weight's on my front foot. And then I lift that weight, transferring that weight all the way onto my back foot, just like so. And then transitioning back to the front leg. And then take that weight off of my front leg and then transition it back on my back leg. Same movement as we were doing before, but I stay mostly centered during this. And I'm just transferring the weight back and forth between my feet. Pretty simple. Very simple for those of you who are initiated in Tai Chi. If you're not accustomed to Tai Chi, we have a plethora of videos on here going through Tai Chi that I highly recommend. The Tai Chi Sao series, which Josh is doing, I highly recommend that. It's spelled C-A-O, Tai Chi, T-A-I-J-I-C-A-O. He goes through all the good elementary principles there in pretty good detail. So, after we're done with that, we then transition, right? So our right foot is going to be stepping out into this lunge. We're just going to call it lunge. This lunge fashion with my foot here as well. Hands heart centered. Position, back and forth. Like I said, I'm just transitioning my weight back and forth here. That's all it's doing. My torso is not changing, maybe just a little bit. as I go back on my back leg here, as you can see from my torso, I turn just a little bit. That's an option for you. Or you can just keep it straight. It's all up to you. It's your world. You can do whatever you want to do, as long as you're smiling and having fun. That's the ultimate rule. Good. And this movement here can be a meditation all by itself. And you just do that for 5 minutes or so. And your balance will improve tremendously. So that's the whole exercise of tree roots and boat on water. Same movement, it's just a little different. One is in a lunge, and the other is just in a regular hip width apart / shoulder width apart stance. Okay, so that's all categorized as movement 1. The next 2 movements, I'm just going to kind of give you guys rather briefly, is tapping toe or cat stance. You see, if we really want to improve our balance with Tai Chi or Qigong, it's very important to do the stances. This is cat stance. Now, there's different ways and different people do the cat stance a little bit differently that I want to talk about. Some tap their toes. Some tap the ball of the foot. For me personally, I'm going to tap the ball of my foot because that's how I've always done it. I grew up with ingrown toenails, so that made it really, really hard for me to do or place anything on my toes. So the ball of the foot is what I do. Now, it's just, say for example, how do we get there in this cat stance? To begin with, I'm going to pull my pants legs up and hopefully you can see. Here I am in the V stance, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shift my way over to the right foot. So that allows me to pick up my left foot, right? It allows me to pick up my left foot. So the heel of my left foot is now up. The ball of my left foot is still on the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my left foot forward just a little bit. I take a little step, about half of your foot or so, or maybe just 1 step forward. 1 step forward. And that's where I rest with my cat stance. Simple as that. That's an easy way to think about it. We can do this in any way you want. You can go into holding the tree posture like so. So it'll look like this on the side. This is a very powerful chi building exercise right here. Or you can simply just place your hands behind your back and stand. Stand for, say, a minute on each leg. That's how I start off with my students. I would say, stand like this for a minute. Good. Relatively simple, right? So the weight is mostly on my back foot. So I can pick this up, right? Pretty easily. So I can, do a little kick if I want to or whatever. This is relatively simple. Most of my weight is on the back foot. Good. And what this technique does is, number 1, it builds balance. Number 2, it builds strength in the legs. And you see the correlation here between strength in the legs and balance. There's a pretty strong correlation between the two. Good. Now, after I'm done with this, I retreat back into my V stance, right? And then I step out with my right foot. Just 1 step forward. So if I were to flatten my foot, my cat stance, if I were to flatten it out again, the heel should be aligned with the left toe, with the left big toe. I hope that's understandable. Remember, if you have any questions, then comment on this YouTube channel, on this YouTube video in particular, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And all my weight's on the back foot. I can do anything I want with my hands. I can lay them like this. I can go like this. I can go heart center. I can do hugging the tree or holding the ball posture. Whatever I desire. This is the one I usually do because it's very good for building your chi. And I'm just tapping the ball of my foot. Like so. Good. And you hold and you camp out here for about a minute. And then after that, you exhale down. So that's the second movement, cat stance. Now the third and final movement is cat stance raise. Basically, if you have the time or if you have the patience, you can actually bring this leg up. Now, I've got my handy chair here, right? So if I'm a beginner, or if I'm just getting back into practice and my balance is kind of off, maybe I had some trauma, you know, and that completely killed my balance. Well, you can use this chair to help balance you like this, see? You can just, or you can just tap your toe like a cat stance. Or I can lift your leg up like this and hold. When I was teaching classes, I just had my students rest their hand against the wall here as they work on their balance. And we would work on our balance probably 10, 12 minutes of the class because it's just that crucial. So you can have your hand against the wall, and you can have your hand on the table or chair or whatever. Now, eventually, what you want to do is you want to be able to just discard those two things and not even have your chair there or not even have your hand against the wall so that you can do something beautiful like this. This is called many things. In Tai Chi, this is called Golden Rooster. In Qigong, this is called the crane. The crane. Because you're working your lungs and your balance. And then you hold that for about a minute or so, and then you come back down. And then there's that weight shift, right? And then you lift your hands up. You hold that for 30 seconds to a minute, and then you bring your hands down. Good. So what all that is just a raised cat stance with your arms out. That's all it is. So, a recap of what we just learned. We learned, number one, the first movement is tree roots, right? Shifting the weight side to side. We then learned boat, which is just a variation. Boat on the water. Just move your weight back and forth. Right? And you do that on the other leg, right? Back and forth. Then we learn cat stance. Now the thing about cat stance is it can be very elegant. It trains you to be elegant, like a cat walking at night. It also helps you train your balance so that you can then become a beautiful white crane on the water. Those are the movements. Now, those are the three primary movements that I want you to practice every single day for your entire life. I encourage you to do that. I'm not your boss, so I can't say you better do this or else, but that's my encouragement. 5 minutes. Give each of these exercises just 1 minute, and you will see the benefit of your balance improving. Just because you stick around, I'm going to give you 2 extras for you, okay? 2 extras that are advanced. The first one is more on the tree roots, okay? But what I want you to do is I want you to visualize something, okay? Here's my hand. Here's my right hand, right? I want you to visualize that there's a white thread, a silver, beautiful thread connected to my left foot, okay? And visualize your right hand as a puppeteer. Those people are awesome, how they can control their puppets and move them around. Amazing. I want you to try to visualize that though, okay? And your left foot's going to be the puppet. So, this is how it's going to look, and then I'll explain it into detail, okay? We're going to break it down. We're going to do like we've always done. We're going to chunk the movement down bit by bit, physically, emotionally, and energetically as well. This is what it looks like. Beautiful, I think. It's a beautiful movement. So, this movement, you're controlling your leg as if with your hand. And your leg is just going to lift up. Whereas this is kind of advanced because not only are you working with your balancing, but you're also trying to balance the left and right hemispheres of your brain. So, don't you worry, we'll go into detail in just a minute. I want you guys to look at this. Plus it feels very, very good. When you get this right, when your body works in perfect unison, something magical just comes over your entire body. And feel the balance and the energy swelling in my body as I do this exercise. Very, very important. Good. Okay. Let's break it down, shall we? Okay. So, I begin with my feet about shoulder width apart, right? Normal stance. My hand, we're going to work on the right, left, left, right. So, it's very important to get those connections first. So my right hand is going to control my left foot, and my left foot is going to control my right foot. So it's opposites. Because we're balancing our bodies, we're also balancing the left and right hemispheres of our brain. So, I begin with my right hand kind of hanging down, palm facing towards my gut, my stomach, my belly button. A little below my belly button, about 3 finger widths below my belly button, which is the dantian. And my hand moves a little bit away from there. And as I begin, as my intention is to lead the hand and to lead that foot out. And as I do so, it's as if a string is magically connected to the wrist of my right hand to the left foot, and it raises up like so. And then back down. And my hand begins kind of close to the dantian, but as it drifts away from my body, I want to begin to then shift my weight to the opposite foot, which in this case would be my right foot. So as it moves, I'm shifting my weight to the right foot, and I begin to lift my left. And then back down. Exhale. What's connected is the wrist / palm and my knee. And then we do the opposite side. My right hand closed down to my hip, or down a little lower to the pocket of my pants. Lift up. Shift. Remember, as I shift over, as my left hand begins to drift away, my weight begins to drift over to the left. It's as if my hand, or in this case my dantian, is controlling the hand, but it's all moving towards the left slightly. And it's just like it's pulling the left foot, like so. Like so. See? And then down. Again. Raise. Like so. Wonderful. You're doing good. Remember, this one's a little tricky. Good. Okay. The breath. We inhale, and then we exhale as we release down. Ah. Inhale. Inhale, breathe in. Into that movement, we do 9 times on each side. We stand center to relax for about 5 minutes. Relaxation. Or however long you have, 30 seconds if you have that much. Good. Okay, so that's one advanced movement. Second advanced movement for balance. Some of my absolute favorites. It's crow flies, or I like to say the eagle flies over the mountains, or landscape. It's a very advanced movement for those. What you're going to do is you're going to get in your normal Tai Chi stance. Lunge, basically. Your hands are going to act as supporters. This represents your wings. Your hands represent your wings. And what's going to happen is you're going to shift your weight all the way to the front foot as you arc your hands out to the side like so. And you're going to simply lift your leg, tilt your body just a little bit forward, and use this as a balance tool. And you want to continue breathing in nice and slow and gentle as you do so. I'm not going to give you too much details here because this is a very advanced movement. I'm just giving this as a bonus material so that you can see where you can go if you do the first 3 primary exercises. Good. There's a whole list of wonderful other great and more advanced balancing exercises in Qigong that will be released as an advanced series on balancing later on. This is one of them. Wonderful. If you can go ahead and do it, go ahead. If not, don't worry, because you're going to get there with practice. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and cut the video there. Thank you so much for joining. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this video with your friends and family so that they can all improve their balance. And remember to stay tuned for new video content and more video content in the future. Blessings. Thank you.